L'Oreal and Let's Talk Money with Friends. Every week we come to you because we know it's important to come to you with really exciting topics about money, because money, I always say, encompasses everything. So tonight's topic, it's a great topic. It's a topic that I think you all can relate to. And the topic is money moves that matter. Do you feel trapped? Do you feel like you are in a hole that you want to dig yourself out? This week's show will change your life. As someone who has made money, lost money, who has had great credit and bad credit, I know you are not alone. But I also know that the only way to dig yourself out of a financial hole is to make strategic moves. Are you willing to make strategic moves tonight? If yes, stay tuned to hear more about how you can do so. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my guests, my friends who are on tonight. We have two gentlemen tonight, and I'm so happy that they were able to join us. And so I'll give Curtis an opportunity to introduce himself first, and then we'll go with Frederick. Curtis, say hello to our audience.
Good evening. How are you tonight, everybody? I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to hear some information that will be informative to some, life-changing to others. And so my name is Curtis Chambers. I live and grew up in the greater Boston area. And my thing is personal finance. I know that it connects to our health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and every other LY word I could think of. So I take it as my mission to help people learn about their money personality. And from there, we just go ahead and approach their goals.
All right, definitely. And Frederick, why don't you say hello?
Sure. Hi, my name is Mr. Frederick, and my company is Frederick Capital and subsidiaries. And so I've been, an entrepreneur for a long time, a little over 30 years. And so I love to teach entrepreneurship. And so my company, amongst many things that it does, especially in this area of talking about money matters, is talking about financial education, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship in the sense of having multiple streams of income, but also creating them passively. So my focus right now has been on educational courses, developing to teach small businesses, and I love working with small business owners, especially. And I've been deeply, for the last 7 months, involved in cryptocurrency. So a lot of my time is spent on that, and also transitioning, helping small businesses, modernize, 21st century with technology. And I like to be the bridge for you guys because, I speak the common language of technical nerd, at the same time, common sense, layman's conversations and words of, that make sense, and also to help you transition as we move into the future world.
Yeah, thank you, Frederick. And I know, like you said, technical nerd. I know for folks like us who've been in the industry or are familiar with certain terms, we want to be very sensitive to those who are watching tonight, because we're saying if you are in a financial hole and you would like to dig yourself out, I know what it feels like because I've been there. And so I want to be very simple. I want to speak simple common language so that those who are watching tonight will know the steps, find out tonight, steps that they need to take in order for them to get away from their financial difficulties. And we say money moves that matter. You need to make money moves. I love the song, making money moves, but hey, you do need to make money moves, because at the end of the day, if you don't make the right money moves, you'll continue to do the same thing and expecting different results. And we don't want you to be insane, because that's the definition of insanity. So without further ado, I would like to ask the very first question, Curtis. And it's so awesome tonight, because someone had said to me, how come you always have ladies on your show? Look at that. Tonight I have two gentlemen. So I'm like excited. Let's say someone who's just getting started or trying to start over after many financial difficulties, where would they start? And what are some actionable steps that they can take today in order for them to get to the next level? Curtis.
It's a fantastic question. Hopefully I'm coming in clearly. The first question, I backtracked just a little and I asked, why are we here? how did we get here tonight and in general? Because I have to slow down to speed up. It's not something that we're just going to say, hopefully folks have their pen and papers to jot down some information, but you're not going to just get, the quick little clickbait or the snippet soundbite so that you can just go run and do this. Hey, invest in this coin or just do that. No, what we need to do is establish how we get here. What do I mean by that? I ask, we're going to ask some questions and find out what's your relationship with money. What's your personality type? When I have that discovery session, that time when we're together, I'll find out what your personality type is with money, because we are typically a part of one of these 5 categories, some more so than others. You're a big spender, or you're a saver, a shopper, you're a debtor, being in debt, or an investor. And that doesn't mean you're always one or always another. Like I said, you usually touch a few of those things. And it's multiple things, but when we get to talking, we'll find out, more or less where you really gravitate towards. And when you find out that, then we can start, taking some action steps from there, which are going to be very different starting point. So the first thing is introspectively, where am I? How did I get here? And what's my relationship with money?
So is that part of creating a plan when you sit down actually? Because I think I've said it before, like last week when we were talking about Money Matters, like so many folks say, I'm going to have it all in my head. I don't need to write it down. So when you're doing that retrospective or assessment of where you at, do you encourage folks again and again to sit down and create a plan? Where am I and where I would like to go? Would you agree with that?
Encourage is too nice of a word. It's almost a demand or a requirement, because you're not gonna, try to retain that in your head. You have to take copious notes. You have to have a journal. You have to track what you're doing. If you want to be a trader or an investor, track your trades. If you want to be a person like my sister-in-law, she's still one of the only people that I know that can balance a checkbook. She actually writes those things down in the ledger. It's important to know, down to the penny where things are. So yeah, it is good to be able to write those things down. And if it's your goals, we're writing those down as well. Writing things down makes it plain. It gives it a life.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. It's a real thing.
Yes, definitely. Because at the end of the day, if it's not written, it's not serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
again, we're saying like if you find yourself in a financial challenge right now and you would like to get out, there are some actionable steps that you can take. One of which is writing things down, and we're creating a plan, creating a vision board. And what's your relationship with money? I love that you said that. So, but there are some real issues that folks are facing with. It's not abstract; it's real. Like for example, credit. What would you say to someone who's facing real bad credit issues right now? Because again, I was saying that to you last year or the year before we were talking, and I had mentioned some of the challenges that I was facing with credit, and you had given me some actionable steps, which I went and implemented, because the key is to go and do. It's not enough to hear. It's very important to go and do what you need to do. And by doing so, now I'm in a much better place. I feel so confident about who I am, because at the end of the day, credit is money. What do you say about that? I'll pass it over to you, Frederick, and then we'll go to you, Curtis, because I know you're passionate about that topic, credit topic. What would you say to someone who's going through a credit issue right now, Frederick?
First, it's not the end of the world, and seeing the bills high up, and it goes back to what Curtis said. And I love working with Curtis because we have the same mindset and we flow and complement each other, because we do some things a little different, but we still come back to synergy, because it comes back to the why are you in debt? And sometimes people think, oh, filing for bankruptcy, this and that, or just, and I remember when I was young, it's like, that wasn't an option, it was, but as a business person, it wasn't. So it was like, okay, you have to understand why. You have to understand your mindset. So why did you get into the debt in the first place? And it's also, there's a big difference from an entrepreneur we talk about all the time. Is it good debt or was it bad debt? And so, Curtis and I, honestly, we're operating in good debt all the time. And we leverage that, and that's a little advanced stuff. But most of us don't understand money. And so it's the peace of mind in looking at, and the first mistake, don't cut your credit card, this and that. Don't be avoiding your bill collectors. Even as let me say this, I've gone through 4 different phases of my life of understanding money and respecting money. Keyword, respecting money. And so you need to slowly start and look at where your credit line is. You know, one of the things I do with my wife in the beginning, early on with, fixing our credits and that, is you have to understand your debt to income ratio of what your credit line is. So you sitting there spending, 30 to 35, and Curtis will go deeper into that if he wants to, but you want to be careful, especially if you're on consumer debt, not to be spending over leveraging. And there's some different, and let me say this, when I talk to a business-minded person or a small business person, it's a different strategy. Just like you as an individual person, your credit issues is a different, whether you have little credit or a lot of credit lines, this and that. And I've seen people who have a lot of credit line and still broke. So it's not a matter of, oh, I need more money. Because honestly, today I operate with very little. I don't carry any cash on me, but also I only carry what I need, and I only spend as an investor and business person. So I'm not spending money when I don't have money to spend.
All right. Thank you so much, Frederick. I think it's so important to go back again to the actionable steps. Someone who's having an issue with credit right now, and they're saying to themselves, I don't know how to get out of that situation. What would you tell them right now? Because again, they say money, cash is king, right? But we know credit is king. Credit is the most important thing in this country and perhaps other countries as well. What would you ask someone who's going through a challenge right now with credit? Where should they start, Curtis?
You need it.
Did that to make sure that you had the clear floor. My apologies. What you would do is start by going to annualcreditreport.com or Wallet Hub, one word, or Credit Karma. Not that I'm endorsing, those last two things as applications that are the end all be all. But what it does do is show you typically what your ratio is of the allotted money that you were given on a credit card. Without getting fancy, the term utilization is not an everyday term, but a credit card entity or merchant, a bank, is going to give you $1,000, and it'll tell you, hey, you're using 750 of it. That's not a great percent at all. You want to invert that and make that inverse and make it so that you're only using 250 out of that $1,000 in that example, 25, 30% maybe. So an actionable step is find out. I have to at least find out what's wrong. I can't just go to the doctor and say, I'm hurting, and don't specify where. So that credit report is going to say, where? Oh, it's my leg. Okay, well, it's this credit. Why is it this credit? Because I'm using too much. Now I can go ahead and make that first actionable step is looking inward. This is important. What am I doing? And what is it working? If it's working, do more of it. If it's not working, let's stop that activity. And then we can turn around. Because in order to go the right direction, you have to stop going in the wrong direction, turn around, face it, and go in that direction. So I'm going to pay that down. I'm not going to pay the minimum. I'm going to pay more than. I'm going to, so that's the first actionable step. Grab a credit report or grab an app that can show me what's going on here. I need to know. I can't be an ostrich with my head in the ground. I need to know where I'm at as far as credit, debt, or whatever. Another actionable step would be about authorized users. But that is something that's a slippery slope because you have to have someone that you trust that trusts you, because they don't know. A lot of people that look like us don't even know about these things. Like, oh, you can add me to your credit card? Yes, and without risking my standing. I'm not giving you a credit card. I'm not allowing you to go on a shopping spree. I'm just adding your name to the file. And therefore, if that person has a great payment history on that particular card, then you get the benefit of all that history as well. So that can really boost you up. That is not for everybody because some people don't understand it, or you never know. In this day and age, people lose their job and now they're not paying their bill anymore. If you go on that card and they don't pay their bill, just like the good stuff is going to go on your report, the bad stuff could be too. So that is not a infallible, 100% slam dunk. It only is if you got someone that's very, very responsible, with their things. So that's a second actionable step in addition to your credit report or finding out where you're at, pay down that high balance, because you're going to save so much on that interest. The second piece was getting on with someone as an authorized user, so that you can, get your credit going in the right direction as well and have positive history.
Yeah, so you're saying that the money moves that we are talking about tonight, if you are someone who's struggling and you're trying to figure out how do I get myself out of that hole that I'm in, the financial hole that I'm in, you have to sit down and take an assessment, do an assessment, and also write things down. What do you want? Where are you? And where would you like to go? And the very first thing at the base, at the foundation of it all is your credit. Because again, credit is used for everything. Credit is used to get your job. Credit is used to get your mortgage, your loan, you name it. Everything you need to get a credit card. So if you are someone who's had bad credit, you definitely have to pull your credit report to make sure that you can see what's in it. Like you said, going to the doctor so you can get the remedy that you need in order to fix that. But if you haven't had credit, or you never initiated credit before, or you had bad credit and now you're coming out of it and you don't have any credit cards, I know you had given me and other people some advice about, how do you establish credit? If you mentioned, like go to a friend, a family member, someone you trust who does have good credit, and tell them like, listen, if you trust me enough and you would like to help me, then can you just put me on your credit card? You don't have to give me a credit card, just put me on the credit card and help me build credit. But there are other things that you can do as a person on your own, right? What would you suggest to do on your own versus going to someone, in addition to going to someone perhaps?
Sure. Go ahead, Dimitri, if you want to. I'll jump in after you.
And actually, that's why I wanted to add, because, like I said, there's different strategies also, because one of the basic things is like, look at you, if you don't have to, do that, or you maybe have no one you could do that with, that's one factor you have to deal with if that's your situation. But if you have credit cards right now, one of the very basic things I did years ago is I went online. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't even know what my credit score is, but I was getting a cell phone. I was doing this and that, writing a check. You need to know where you are and looking at the credit score. So every credit card companies now have, and again, you have to go online. You have to be savvy to go online. It tells you right there. I watched that like a heart. My wife gets annoyed by me. It's like, I always know what my money is doing and what my score is doing, and I have it go up and down for a reason, because I'm leveraging it. And, I always say, this is advanced stuff. I destroy it, I build it up. I destroy it, build it up. And if you're not there, it's not the same way, because I'm doing it from a different business standpoint. But you need to know, and I love, and again, I'm not here to endorse Capital One, but, we see the commercial all the time. But they also have great back-end information data that tells you a whole map of your credit score history. And I think it's a circle, and it tells you what each chunk is. Paying just, even if you can't do nothing more than minimum, every month just increases your score. I think it's 30 I get deep in, I have a chart of it, 2 different diagrams of where 35%, 10%, something like that, of where your credit is and what it, damages or makes it stronger all the time. You have to understand those things.
You do have to understand those things. So, but going back again to the question that I was asking, how do you establish credit other than asking someone if you haven't done it, or if you fell off the credit radar?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you do it?
To Dimitri's point, a place like Capital One or any bank of similar ilk, because some do and some don't, you will ask the bank, do you guys offer, credit building loans? Do you guys offer secured credit cards? What's a secured credit card? A secured credit card is when I have a credit card right now, like I have a credit card that has $14,000 on it. So they're trusting that if they lend me $14,000, I'm going to pay it back. That's unsecured. They don't know that I will. They're trusting that I will. Well, the opposite of that is if I start out and I get a secured credit card, I will give the bank upfront, let's say $300. They're holding that and they're going to give me a credit card. I can use up to that $300 and I still got to pay the bill as normal, pretend like that $300 is not even there, and they're testing you out. But they're watching over themselves because they don't know you. You don't have a credit history yet. So just in case you skip town and you think you're going to retire on $300 worth of t-shirts or coffee, well, they got the $300 that they can pay it back and they'll just close your account. But the whole aim of that is to pay responsibly. And over 5-6 months, people like a Capital One, again, we'll just pick on them in a good way. will increase that. And first they'll do is say, okay, you've done a good job. We'll give you your 300 back, and it's no longer secured. It's unsecured. That's the next step. Like, oh, wow, somebody trusts me. And you'll notice your score starts to go up because, to Dimitri's point, paying on time is 35% of your score, your payment history. And then how much of it you're using. If you have a card that's only 300, you definitely, I guess you can only use 85, 90 bucks of it, because, you're the second thing that they judge you on is how much of that allotted amount that they gave you that you're using, known as utilization. So between those two things, that's about 65% of your score right there.
Wow, that's amazing. And the reason we're spending so much time on credit is because we know that in order for you to have the opportunity and the cash flow to go to the next level, you have to take care of that. That is at the basis of everything. You have to take care of that, because at the end of the day, bad credit really takes away from you. You have bad credit, you have to pay more for everything. And we don't want you to pay more everything, because if you're making money moves, you want to make strategic money moves, and money moves that are not going to take away from you, but money moves that are going to be helping you. So we talk about cash flow. I know we've talked about multiple streams of income, right? How important it is to have multiple streams of income. So how do you know that you have a negative or positive cash flow?
Perfect segue, because cash flow is important. You need to know, that you have it or not. And how do I assess if I have a nugget of a positive cash flow? I guess the simple answer is this: can I pay my bills, right? Can I live with only the income I'm making this month? I'm not going to the savings account. I'm not borrowing $40 from Dimitri. Wink, wink. Dimitri knows what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
So I'm not borrowing $40 from him. I'm not using my credit card. Why? I'm not saying these things are nothing's illegal about those things. Just your savings account. That is my friend. That is my credit card. But that means I can't do it on my own. If I was cash flow positive, I wouldn't need any of those three entities. I would just, my paycheck is $200 this week. My bills, my light is 100. My cell phone's this. My gas is that. Add up to 188. I made 200. I'm cash flow positive. It's only 12 bucks, but I'm cash flow positive. If you had to use your credit card to get the groceries or to pay your cell phone, then you're negative because you're borrowing. And guess what? Because of the interest rates, you're not paying what you think you are. You're going to be paying forever. And that's taking away from your future. You're borrowing from your tomorrow, because that's an opportunity cost. That's an economic term. Opportunity cost is what I could be doing with that money if I wasn't in debt. So again, I'll go into that a little later on, but you're taking away from the chance to go invest in the next coin that's going to take off and go to the moon. He mentioned cryptocurrency. Well, I don't have it because I'm too busy trying to catch up over here. So you got to stay on top of your cash flow so that you can take those investment risks.
Again, making money moves that matter. If you're going to be making money moves, you have to know strategically. You have to be very calculating in what you're doing with your money. And we're saying you have to sit down to take a look. You have to take a look at your credit, because it's at the basis of everything you do. Because the better it is, the less money you spend. The worse it is, the more money different industries, different organizations will be taking from you. So once you know that, then you definitely have to take a look at your cash flow. So what would you say to someone, Frederick, who's struggling right now with their cash flow? Meaning like money they're bringing in and money that's going out. How would you help them?
This is where it's very important to understand we're in the 21st century, and I don't say that lightly, because today, folks, you need 21st century skills. It's one of the very important things in this discussion, because a lot of us are going to do things the 20th century, and I talk to people, business people say, I don't do 20th century stuff, meaning that a lot of the old ways, and I'm talking about going to go get more degrees, more pieces of paper. Folks, you have to know where the future is, and we don't, I'm a very advanced person, so, and I'm trying to slow myself down because I know some things I want to talk about. I can't because I know where you are and I have to meet you where you are. And so, today, Curtis and I, we're talking about cryptocurrency, we're talking about metaverse stuff. We're talking about where the job market is moving. I just came from, I do pre-IP investment. And I look at, a whole list of jobs, and it's 21st century jobs they have, engineering type of stuff, So you have to be careful, and you have to assess your skill level to get the right skills, not necessarily the job skills, a lot of the job skills is going to be virtual, remote jobs. Jobs, not just anymore with the computer typing the keyboard anymore. Wearing a Google glasses, for example, Apple glasses. So it may sound like, oh, I'm too old for that. No, you have to understand how to transition, because sometimes we could trap ourselves right now in where we go trying to get more money from the old ways of how money used to be made. And that's the danger, because the stuff that I'm doing right now is very advanced. It's generating to me passive income. The stuff I'm studying right now but again, I didn't start from there. So to go back a little bit is maybe you need to get, and it comes back to fear of knowing yourself, your mindset, having more than one credit card, but not to go crazy spending this and that. Curtis talking about,
So let me ask you, Frederick, you're saying like in order for you to get your cash flow into a positive way, a positive cash flow, you need to figure out how to make money. Is that what you're saying to the people? How to make money? And there are multiple ways to make money right now in the 21st century, right? There are multiple ways to make money. And I know that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you and Curtis, because you are teaching families on how to become cash flow positive without having to have multiple jobs that's going to be taken away from your free time, your family time, and everything else. So Curtis, what are some of the ways, what are some of the ways you're helping families to become cash flow positive today?
You muted.
You muted.
Appreciate that. No, I'm always trying to make sure there's no background noise when you guys are speaking. One of the ways that I do, in addition to all that we outlined, is look at using technology as our friend, right? Now I can ask Siri or Alexa what the weather is. Now I can have, this and that. The cars drive themselves, they park themselves. I'm bringing these things up because the technology has woven itself into our lives. So with that being said, I found, certain applications in artificial intelligence. People hear the words AI or bots, things of that nature. Well, I actually have someone or something that's investing for me right now. I have an AI bot that, as we speak, is already scouring the markets, because the stock market is operates 9 to 5-ish. Foreign exchange market is all day, not every day, but all day during the week. So even as we speak, they're looking out there for the optimal trades, and they're a lot smarter than I am. I'm not going to beat a robot, like the guy Bobby Fischer playing chess against the computer. Well, I'm not going to beat the computer. So the computer's making money on my behalf. I check it every day, once a day, and and it just brings in more. As long as it's bringing in more than the rate of inflation, which we didn't even talk about yet, my money's making money. Because if your money's just sitting in the bank account, it's losing money. Think of it as an ice cube that's melting. So you need to be doing something that's making money while you're sleeping, while you're living your life, while you're with your loved ones, while you're volunteering at your church or what have you. And so once I get this first piece out, which is stop giving away your money, get your credit up, things of that nature. Now let's go ahead and start to accumulate and go from saving to investing, and things like automated, investing are things that I have them invest in.
Yeah, and I love that, because last week we talked about how money matters, and that you need money. When you stop wasting your money because of bad credit or because of frivolous activities, you are able to accumulate. And I know you just mentioned inflation. So someone who's looking to accumulate, someone who's looking to make money, we say that how money works for you versus you working for money. That's you working for money, that's you having multiple jobs and trying to kill yourself to get that cash. Whereas you can learn through training and education how to make money work for you. So what would you say to someone who's like, okay, I know last week I mentioned it, but I would like to go back again to the idea of inflation and procrastination and people investing money so money can work for them. Frederick.
One way is learning social media marketing, digital like referrals. Instead of just the old days of I just look at her. She got a nice hair. Do I compliment her on her hair? Like, where'd you get it? No, here's my link. Here's my referral link where you can purchase that if you are interested. you know, we are so used to, especially our culture, we love entertainment, we love socializing. And so the 21st century, and this goes into church too, the word free is the most dangerous word in the 21st century, because free can hurt you because you don't understand the value of free. That's why YouTube is free, this and that. Facebook is free. But as an entrepreneur, as a digital marketer right there, it's one of the things I take the time to learn. I could use free to financially empower myself by just sharing a link of information. There's more to it, but it's a digital age of information age where you share information, but you have a link, say, hey, here's where you could get that information and learn more about it without you having to do the work. And guess what? The company is going to pay you a percentage for just doing that. So here's the dangerous thing. You could go crazy, but find what you're passionate about, that you like, and you believe that you could, if you know what I'm saying, if you could have done it for free and still get paid for it, why not? And that's what a referral link is. So instead of just trying to go, hey, buy this from me, or the old days in network marketing are trying to convince people sometimes to buy something they don't know, or it doesn't mix and match their philosophy and their belief system, and then they have the buyer remorse later on.
Yeah, definitely. What was it, Sunday, when we were talking about this show, because we always like to prep for it. And I know, Curtis, you mentioned the law of association. We've all heard of the law of attraction, but the law of association, because why is it important? Because I'm sure we are doing this show and some people are saying, you know, I either know everything already, so I don't need to pay attention, or you know what, I don't have time to learn about this stuff, or you know, they'll make a number of excuses. So, or there are some folks who are going to be watching and I'll be like pulling their notebook like I do, my notebook, and write notes and then go and implement, right? Because that's how you get lucky, right? When you're prepared and an opportunity comes. So opportunity comes. So I just want to find out, you know, when it comes to the law of attraction, why is it important for people to not do the same thing expecting different results? And how do you align yourself with someone like you, like I have been able to do? And because of that, I can see the difference in my bottom line. Yes, Curtis.
I love it. I love it. That's a testimonial. I mean, think about it. Just what Dimitri outlined, law of association. If I'm affiliating with people who have that mentality of not crabs in a barrel, so to speak, but just lack, a lack mentality, you know, what are you getting out of the deal? Then that's not going to work. But if I can show people, I've done really well with cryptocurrency over the last year. And part of it was not even a risk at all, because if I shared my link with you, hey, you're going to get 25 bucks. I'm going to get 25 bucks. Boom. Then it's risk free. You know, you got some free crypto, and some of those things, $25 can get you a lot when they're less than a penny. So that giving of those links and affiliate marketing, so to speak, has been super helpful. But in terms of specifically that law of association, again, you have to be ready to pivot. We're in a new world, a new paradigm, folks. And so it used to be the law of association was you are the sum of the 9 people that hang around you. I could look at the 9 people that you hang around, or the 5 people that you hang around the most, and say, yep, this is what you are. I could basically just jot it down and say how much you make, or, you know, basically what's going on for you because of who you were hanging with. Well, because of the pandemic, we're no longer hanging with people like we used to physically. So now I have to say, you are now the sum of your videos that you watch, or content that you allow to absorb into you. So YouTube can give me the funniest, you know, hilarious viral videos, the cute cat videos, but it can also give me TED Talks. It can also give me informative content on crypto, investing, on, you know, doing my hair, makeup, or what have you. TikTok, same way. You know, TikTok can give you the latest dance crazes. It can give you the funniest challenges, but the little prank videos, haha, these little pranks, but it can also give you some great wisdom and content. It's what you choose to allow in. Not saying one is better or worse than the other, but there's a balance, there's a percentage. I'm gonna do this haha video for a second. All right, let me get on this thing now for the next 2 hours. 1 second, 2 seconds versus 2 hours. If you put one on the scale and the other one, then I will know. So the law of association is, what are you associating and allowing into your realm in terms of the videos and the content that you allow in? Because I'm telling you, it's going to be positively correlated to your lot in life, you know, in terms of your income, your wealth, your health, and all that. There's no way you're going to be putting junk in and getting awesome results. It's just, it's not,
That's
it's a
your
the
verbiage.
beautiful thing about a law is it's a law regardless if you believe in it or not. If I jump off this building, I don't have to believe in gravity. The ground's going to believe in me in about 2 seconds.
Exactly. And the truth of the matter is, you say the negative or the positive correlation. Listen, your cell phone, do you want to have positive or negative? It's up to you. The people who have the privilege to pick up the phone to call you and to have teacher, a conversation with you over the telephone, are they there to help you, or are they just wasting your time? Because at the end of the day, the law of association is very important. Because of my association with you and with the other people that I have strategically decided to associate with, oh my gosh, I can see this year, when I say 2022, it's going to be a winning year. It's already started. It has already started. So we want to win. We want to make money moves that matter. And in order for you to make money moves, you have to be in conversation and reading books and watching, like you said, the videos, doing things that are filling you up and educating you and inspiring you and giving you actionable steps to get out of your situation so that you can level up. You cannot level up if you're doing the same thing and expecting different results. So I just want to say that I know in conversation with you too, you're talking about like you have training that you do. That's why we say the law of association. What can you share a little bit about the training that you do and how you help individuals and families level up financially, Frederick?
Sure. So, actually, I have some good news. And you said something that was so important too. See, preparation, the year 2021, we've all been aggressively investing. I know all three of us been investing. Now my foot in my hard labor and sacrifice is paying off. Things that happen right now. I have things that's, again, supply chain issues, delayed. For my investments are coming in now. So I'm getting ready to deploy stuff as I speak. And so one of the things too today, I had a course I recorded in December. It was delayed again. So my 6K quality and high-end stuff I did, my computer didn't have capacity for it. So they had to shrink it down, make it smaller. So my video editor, he just sent me a copy of it. So I'm going to be, after this training, I'm going to just download the stuff and start editing it. And so there's a course ready to, help you understand the mindset of this economy, what's going on, because this is not by accident. And this is getting deeper stuff, but just to let you know, and I'll be sharing that more with Gabrielle when it's ready. So learning, taking some training course, learn about pre-IPO investments. I have 4 key companies that I've been waiting for a long time, just went public. I was excited about that. There's, I'm doing cryptocurrency course trainings as well, consulting, get you some tips. And Curtis can do the same thing too. And so we have collaborated with each other, stretch each other. We talk late nights all the time about, what's the market's doing, and we could help you by giving you the basic fundamentals. And as someone who's an entrepreneur, I help small business right now survive. We're in a shutdown, but you may not come back from the shutdown. And that's very key.
Yeah, and it's so important, again, a law of association. Don, who had reintroduced me to you, Curtis, I'm so grateful for that, said the other last week that I had called her. I called her during the pandemic because I knew the type of work that she was doing, and I knew that was gonna be there was gonna be a shutdown with that one. So I picked up the phone. I said, "Hey, you're my client. I know this is a tough time. This is what you can do." And immediately she went. She's a doer. She's a doer. She took action, and boom, boom, boom. And now she's in a much better place. She's able to go back home to Maryland and still continue to do her business because she's no longer linked to a company here. So you see how the liberation of financial freedom, earlier before we went offline, we talked about how, this is Black History Month, right? And every February we have the privilege and the opportunity to celebrate as Black people, whether you are Black American or African or like folks like me, Caribbean American. But listen, there's nothing like financial freedom. Would you agree, Curtis?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Being able to do what you want, not having to wait till the Black Friday sale or, when everybody else is going on this vacation, so the prices are higher, or, having to wait till Friday or Saturday to go on this when the prices are higher. You can do something on a Tuesday or what have you, because you don't have to ask for the boss for time off. Nothing against work, and I still work. I'm just saying that you have the money, which allows more options, which allows you to eat healthier, which allows you to bless other people. Not have to work the 3 jobs. And I was able to pick up my son today. They get off early on Wednesdays, and typically you're going to be somewhere where you can't do that. It's the little things that make them so excited. So this life is to be enjoyed, because we can see that it's crazy out there right now. So it's the little things.
Yeah, it happens so quickly. It's fleeting. And again, I was talking to someone earlier, again, with the law of association. I had gone to help someone in Boston, and coming into our apartment, I saw a couple of things, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you were into that stuff. And she was like, yes, definitely. I can connect you. And before you know it, like, listen, today I was talking to somebody in New York, and someone I would have never been able to get connected with had it not been for the fact that I came out of my comfort zone and decided to go and be involved and an active member of my community. So the law of attraction, again, maybe sometimes we find ourselves, right, Frederick, you are around people who are saying the same thing. Life is so hard. They're singing the same song and they're playing the same music. And we're saying right now tonight, in order for you to make money moves that matter, you have to come out and get the support and get help and get training. Would you agree, Frederick?
Oh, definitely. And one thing to add to that, saying, because you're not going to physically do it all the time. Once in a while, maybe you can do it, but you have to learn, there's a word called SEO, I just lost the word, search engine optimization. That's very advanced stuff that it could teach you, and you could outsource that work. You don't have to be an expert in everything, but you could just basically be pointed. And one of the things I've created on my Frederick Media side is, as a bridge entrepreneur, in directing you, small fee of, and I just shared with you, I actually won't say the company name, a platform that has all the different outsources. One of the things I'm getting ready to do is put my services there so that people who want to integrate, cryptocurrency or other business technologies and pre-IPO that I'm involved in, you can actually go there and hire me to go do that for you. So social media is one of the best things, like we're doing right now, a promotion. And you are attracting the people that already see it. The old way of word of mouth, it may still work, but the better place to catch people like-minded that's designed the same things at the same time that you wanted is online, not offline always today.
Yeah, and also I want to say one last thing, because I know this is taking some time, but this is a very important topic, and I hope that those who are watching are taking notes and are really seriously thinking about changing their lives, because the year just started, but just like that, January is gone. January is gone. January 2020 is gone, and now this is just the beginning of the second month. So you have 11 months to make a difference in your life. And you talked about, investing in yourself, because we talked earlier about how to make sure you don't overpay for your services by building your credit, so that you can have the cash flow, you can have the money available to invest in yourself and invest in your future, to investment, and also currently to education. Now, I know, we live in a society and also a community where people I want everything for free. You had mentioned free is no good. Why is it important again? I just want to reiterate that just so that folks can listen and hear, to invest, because I know for me, last month I invested a lot in my education. Why? Because to me it's important. It's important because I know the return will be exponential return. Why is it important for folks to invest right now in themselves, so that they can help them make the money moves that do matter?
I would say, while I'm speaking, could you pull up that picture that you had? Do you have that? So it's important because, from November, I would say pre-pandemic, hopefully everybody can see that. So pre-pandemic, the food prices were going up, about 1.5% a year. That's, typical. Things go up. That's inflation. It's a normal flow of things going up. But after about Thanksgiving of 2020, right? So not 3 months ago, 15 months ago. So about November of 2020, since then, food has gone up a ridiculous 6.8, almost 7%. That's not my statistics. Like in college, they want to make sure you always attribute the proper information? Well, that's from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So about 7%. And so some people, right, are very sad about that, or upset about that, or distraught about that, or anxious at night about that. Those are the ones who are consumers, or the ones who are, you know, when you think about liabilities versus assets, you know, I'm paying out for food, or I'm paying out for transportation, because gas prices had to bring the food to the stores. You have to pay for the airline ticket, gas prices operate and make that engine go, right? And so the same thing with clothes and food. So when you look at that income statement of the poor, you got your job or whatever means of salary, income you have, and money just flows out. That's it. End of story. When you see middle class, it's a little bit of different. Now, again, we're not going to get in the weeds here tonight, but I just want you to see that there is a system for, you know, the poor and middle class basically in one set, and for the rich, those same things that I just mentioned. Oh, my real estate, my rent went up. It's, you know, a rent increase. The food went up. Rich folks is not mad if they own a piece of the Beyond Beef company. Great. It's not $8 a box anymore. It's now $20 a box or whatever. They're good because they own Beyond Beef or McDonald's or, you know, Microsoft. You know, your computer costs more, your rent costs more. That person who owns the building, he or she's making more money, or they're making more money. So when it's rich, the rich call them more wealthy. They have assets. These are things that spit off money. Cash flow has been the buzzword of this last hour. So their cash flow every month is, but yes, based off those things, those very same things that was troublesome to you, it's noted in a little different form. So if I say stocks, like I said, the McDonald's stock, or, you know, whatever, supermarket stock, well, if you go back to the left, that's food. So it came from over there. So, you know, again, these are folks who are wealthy. They're glad for this stuff. You know, they're taking advantage of inflation. Inflation is not bad in and of itself. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, what side of the ledger are you on? And do you have something that can defeat that? Because your job gave you a 2% raise. That's not enough, because I just told you inflation was 6.8%. So you got to make up the difference. So that's why when I have in multiple streams, like my car share business, you know, when I rent out vehicles, or, you know, my cryptocurrency and staking. And again, not to get into all those things, just letting you know that these exist. I have assets. I have something that acts as real estate for me. I can rent these things out. I get predictable cash flow every week and every month. Credit cards, again, that's a liability for some folks. But if you're on the other side that's lending the money, then you're excited because you're making them the money off of that. So there are things that you could be doing. You have to be able to get assets, but we got to get out of debt first. So we go from debt to savings, and then we go from savings to assets. And that's what we do with our trainings and our consultation and our services, you know?
Yeah, and those, it sounds simple, but can be very complicated. That's why you need help. You need support. You need to reach out and get the help that you need. Because at the end of the day, we know that there's a lot to deal with in the society. There's so much that we need to deal with. But at the end of the day, you have responsibility to get up and do what you need to do so that you can get involved and find yourself making money moves that matter. Did you want to say something, Frederick?
Yeah, to going back to that chart, because one of the things I just reported in my course, and you know, Curtis and I talk about this all the time and understand it. Why do you need to start now? And the answer is because that middle row that you see, that middle class, it's getting eliminated right now, folks. So the future goal, and it's not, and I don't say it lightly in no disrespect, it's what I understand. I'm a futurist, I'm a visionary, and my background is in IT technology. So I understand this stuff, and I've been watching it for 30 years. This middle class is going to be wiped out in 5 years, 2025. And that's from a philosophy I teach in my SQL economics course, part of the constitutional crisis that I just reported, because it's very real, folks. Curtis talking about inflation. Many of us are living check to check, but right now our system is setting us to go from poor, not to rich, from poor to just poorer, I like to say. So we have to be very careful in thinking, oh, these guys are just talking. Oh, you know, Renee is just talking. No, we're trying to help you understand there's so much more that we could say. And we just, you know, we really are holding back, because not even to scare you, but to help you understand there's so much at stake right now, folks. For some of you right now are waiting for the next election, whether or not you like Biden right now, or, you know, we had preferred Trump, this and that. as entrepreneurs, we don't care who's in office. Any entrepreneur, and I say business owner, I said an entrepreneur should not care who's in office, because we could make money moves any time of day. And actually, we literally, Curtis has no, we trade 24/7 a day. Cryptocurrency doesn't sleep, you know? So
making money moves all day and every day. And because
Absolutely.
again, we say money encompasses everything. Decisions that you are making about how you spend your time, who you spend your time with, and how much of your time is allocated for each area of your life, it's up to you. So we are encouraging you to make money moves that matter. And in order for you to do that, you do have to understand the law of association. You have to understand the law of association, because there are some strategic steps that you're gonna need to take on your own to get out of your dig yourself out of your hole, i.e., creating a plan, work on your credit, and once your cash flow is positive, you are able to sit down with someone, an expert, who can help you build assets. Because at the end of the day, you need that in order for you to really be making great money moves. So, Curtis and Frederick, I know it's almost time for us to say goodbye. I just want to say thank you for your time. Do you have one last word that you'd like to share with those who are going to be watching, who are going to be taking the time to say this is a valuable video, and then they'll want to take the time to watch it, because it is going to make a difference in their lives?
I'll say this, as you brought it up. We talk about around this in circles, but you need to also understand what is an asset and versus what is a liability. Because, we have a lot of 20th century words, it's something I say on my entrepreneurship show, stop using 20th century words as if they're still valuable and mean the same thing in the 21st century. Today, the word outsourcing is the most powerful word once you start learning to free your financial self and leverage yourself. All of us know about outsourcing, our services, because it's so vital, because we cannot do everything 24 hours a day. Curtis and I, as well as Gabrielle said, 7 months for her to get to where she wanted with her credit. It took me years to get to where I'm with my credit lines. Talking about, hey, bro, I don't like sharing, big money we're playing with, because we didn't start yesterday or say, oh, tomorrow, let me change my life because I see I'm in debt. We understood we need to change our lives. So you need to do the same for yourself.
And I would say, get off zero. When I say get off zero, I mean start where you're at. You got to get up. If it's about your health, get off zero. I just went down the steps today, or I walked 1 block today. Get off zero. I see your face, exactly. So get off zero. Let's invest in myself. Let me pay $5 more than the minimum on my credit card. So zero is like the minimum, right? That's the minimum you could do. Well, I'm not going to just pay the minimum, or I'm going to start paying, because some people weren't paying at all. So start there. 5 pages of a good book, 10 pages of some informative book, 10 minutes on YouTube doing something. Join a Facebook group. There's the Black Investors group. There's a lot of those groups on Facebook. Use some of the social media for something positive. And definitely, last but not least, hit up Dimitri and bang my line. You got to hit me up, because I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then also to check this video out. We always encourage folks every Wednesday to either like, share, and make a comment. And also, share with your friends, because this is the type of information, the word gossip, right? People can't say, did you hear? Please gossip about this show. Call your friends and let them know, did you hear? Have you seen this show? Because they're really sharing some good information about money, because money encompasses everything, and we need to know how money works and how money can work for us. At the end of the day, the objective of this show was to let you know that it's impossible. It's impossible for you to make changes, really great money moves that will not only impact your life, but also benefit your future generations. Take actions today. It's up to you, but we are encouraging you to take actions, because if you do, then you'll not only change your life, like I said, your future generation, but also your community. Because at the end of the day, we are celebrating Black History Month. We want to be the type of people who are really maximizing all the work and the benefits of all the work that was done by our forefathers and ancestors. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We are looking forward to another great show next week. Stay tuned for that next week. See you.
See you.